All right, hello everybody. Welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping, where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we review what is without a doubt the top racing card in the United States. Week 6 of the racing season finds us, well, we just stayed in Florida, folks, for the inaugural running of the $12 million Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream Park in Hollandale Beach, Florida. The pick four starts with race number 9, and it finishes in race number 12. They're all stakes races in the pick four on Saturday, and it includes the big one. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analyst, Ray Torado, who joins us from Staten Island, New York. How you doing tonight, Ray?
Good. How are you, Rich? Very excited for tomorrow.
Doing pretty good, and yeah, I'm very excited. I don't know if I've been this excited for quite a few months now. All right, and each week he joins us from his home in Temecula, California. How you doing, Joe English?
I'm doing great, Rich. How about yourself? How's Vegas treating you so far?
So far, actually, Vegas is treating me very well, and as always, I'm just happy to be here.
I wish I were with you. I'm with you in spirit, but
as always, and folks, as you heard there, Joe let the cat out of the box. I am in Las Vegas. There is a big fight tomorrow night between Carl Frum and Leo Santa Cruz, and this guy's getting to go to it. So I'm really, really excited to be here in Las Vegas. All right. Tonight, our question actually comes courtesy of one of the broke guys, Ray Torado. Thank you very much for this one. The Pegasus World Cup is a new concept. Is there any race or new format you would like to see? And around what time of the year would you like to see it at? And Ray, since you gave me that question, you're going to get to go first. You're up first.
Oh. Well, I made the question, but I had trouble getting an answer. But actually, what I would like to see is basically, like, you know how they do, like they had the Sunshine Millions where they have 4 races here, 4 races at another track and stuff. I like to see that more often. And I like to see also for the Triple Crown races, that the days they have the Triple Crown races, I don't know, probably Breeders' Cup also, I like to see no other tracks run races, so that is the center of attention of the horse racing world. That's what I would like to see, because on those days, those are the horses that are there, the stars are there, everybody's there, and just have a big, big party, like a show. Let them broadcast it all day, whatever. But let that be the focus of racing, especially for the Triple Crown, the Breeders' Cup. I don't know any of your other cards you can have, probably Pegasus also. But let that be the focus of the day. That's what I would like to see.
Excellent. All right, Mr. English, you're up. Kind of taking the Pegasus World Cup in mind. What kind of innovative new style would you like to see out there?
You know, it's funny, Rich. I've been thinking about it since Ray sent us the question, and I don't know that there's really anything new that can be added other than something like the Pegasus, but I'd like to see them change some things for the better, and it's more like there's two things. One, just lower takeouts, because lower takeouts lead to churn, which basically leads to bigger payoffs, bigger prices, higher, bigger fields, hopefully. And then the other thing I think I'd like to see is occasionally, and it's not all the time, change the pick six minimum from $2 to $1. Give the little guy a little bit more of a chance at hitting that big score. Yes, I understand the pools are not ginormous, and I'm not really a big fan of the jackpot pools, but I'm thinking just generally maybe like on Wednesday or Thursday, if you want to generate more revenue for the pick six pools, make the minimum bets on weekdays of $1. On weekends, $2, that's fine. I get it. But at least if you want to stir the pot and get the carryovers going, make it a minimum of $1. Give the smaller guy a chance to make a big score without having to break the bank.
Awesome. I'm going to weigh in real quickly here. A couple of years ago, I read an article. As a matter of fact, I shared this with Joe when we were talking about it. An article that was in a magazine, and I think it actually was an article of Forbes magazine. And the gist of the idea was to realign racing into divisions, very much the way that they have today, but to kind of give them almost like a point value, the way that they do for the Kentucky Derby for each of the racing divisions. So at the end of the year, rather than having what is considered a subjective award, which is that Eclipse Award, have something that would give us an actual definitive point schedule. Again, I'm a Brisnet guy who likes those prime power numbers at the end and things like that. So I would like to see it, if not for every single division, if we could just even see it for one division, just to see how it would look for a year. That's my take on that. But Ray, excellent question.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Last week, well, that was also Gulfstream Park. In fact, Gulfstream has been 60% of our show so far this season with this episode. Unfortunately, we left the winner out of the opener, and again, we managed to hit on just 50% of our selections last week. We are now 0 for 4 in the pick 4 so far this season, and our hit percentage for the year remains at just 50%. Time for a brief weather update, and this is coming again from Hollandale Beach, Florida. The forecast for Saturday calls for partly cloudy skies with a high of 70 degrees. The winds are at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and there is a 0% chance of rain in the forecast. A total of 12 races, 7 stakes on tap for Saturday. For today, we are focused on the pick 4, beginning in race number 9 and concluding in race number 12. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded. The outriders are clear, and the starter is ready to pop the gate. It's pick 4 post time.
Okay.
Let's go. Do it.
Yep.
All right. Race number 9. Approximate post time is 3:38 p.m. Eastern time. 5 furlongs on the turf. Gulfstream Park Sprint Stakes. The purse is $125,000, 4-year-olds and upward. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite at a lukewarm 7-2 is in post number 10. Mongolian Saturday for trainer Enebish Ganbat and ridden by Carlos Montalvo. Okay, all right, Joe. This week, the Los Angeles Dodgers, they traded for second baseman Logan Forsythe. We all found out that he is also going to hit leadoff for the Dodgers. Interestingly, the 3 broke guys, we have a leadoff hitter who also does a little bit of everything, and his name is Joe English. So get us off and get us on base here in the pick 4 at Gulfstream Park, my friend.
All right, cool. This is really a difficult race, and you can tell the morning line favorite being 7-2, and Mongolian Saturday hasn't really done that much since winning the Breeders' Cup Turf at Keeneland a couple of years ago. I wish the horse that I liked hadn't drawn the post that he drew. I like the 1, Rainbow Air, who drew the rail in this spot. Top buyer speed figure in his last start. It was, despite being further back than anticipated, the horse didn't actually break all that great, but the horse came running and won really easy. One in hand. The horse likes to win. 10 for 23 lifetime. Jason Service. I looked again. Loved looking up stats and formulator. The trainer is 43%, 13 for 30 at 5 furlongs on the turf with any random horse over the past year with a 3.24 ROI. And he's 60% with 6 for 10 with 3 additional in the money finishes when he gives a horse between 50 and 75 days. And his ROI in that spot is 3.42. The horse that he beat last time out, Summation Time, is 9 of 17 in the exacta, and earlier not earlier this year, late last year, or actually in the summer last year, the horse has been facing horses like Rocket Heat, Pure Sensation, and Undrafted, who are really, really good at this distance, or really good turf sprinters. And I like that Trevor McCarthy comes along. I don't think he has any other mounts this day, so I think this is his main goal and his main target. The rail is not really a huge negative. It's 18% at Gulfstream Park on this meet, 8 for 44. So it's not a death knell to be on the rail. I just wish the horse had drawn a little bit further outside. So I love Rainbow Air in this spot. He's my top pick, and he'd be on the top line no matter what I do. My second choice would be Manhattan Dan, who I see has Rich's check mark, and I'm sure he'll get into that in a little bit. He's just lightning fast from the gate. You can't really say much more about Pletcher Castellano combination, blah, blah, blah. He's an open length winner at 5 furlongs the last 2 starts. Unfortunately, those 2 wins were followed by a lengthy layoff. He does have enough speed to avoid the traffic, but I remember seeing Betty's Bambino win off a 2-year layoff on a course that he loves. So I'm not that worried about the layoff, but Todd Pletcher in this spot, in this situation, has a couple of negative numbers. Only 1 for 13 at 5 furlongs on the grass over the past year, and this is a new arrival to his barn, and he's only 22%. And you'd think a lot of trainers would take 22%, but with Pletcher, most of those horses are at low odds, and generally 22% isn't going to get you a lot in this case. I do like the horse. He's got to be the one to beat. He's going to be the one to down. He's going to be the one on the lead probably with a furlong to go, and you're going to have to beat him. I like Power Alert a little bit as well. The 11. He's the second choice on the morning line at 4-1. 4 for 4 at Gulfstream with Le Peru winning 3 times. 10 for 29 on the 10 for 29 record. He can either lead or sit just off the pace. Generally, I don't think he's going to be fast enough to compete with Manhattan Dan if he tries that tactic, but he's got the outside post, so he could probably sit off the lead. But there is other speed in this race. And Julian Leparoux is having if you look 9% at this meet for Leparoux is obviously he's scuffling to get to the winner's circle. 22 seconds. Maybe he's a little bit snake bit, but he likes this. He fits this horse. So he would be another choice. And to continue with my Keno ticket, I like one other horse, and that's the 3 long on value. The horse has back class, and he's won grade 2 and grade 3 stakes. Again, another horse who likes to win 7 for 25. He's won 2 out of 3 at the distance. The trainer's 4 for 10 at 5 furlongs over the past year, positive ROI. And the only one of the big things I don't like in big fields and big 5 furlong fields is deep closers. So I'm assuming he's going to have to be a little bit closer to the pace to win. But I know he's a longer price on the board. I'm not sure what his morning line odds. I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 15 to 1. But he would be one I would put on my personal ticket. If I had to choose just 2 to be on our ticket, I would be the 1 and the 2, Rainbow Air and Manhattan Dan. But I really like Rainbow Air in this spot. So that's the start of my Keno ticket. So it would be in order for me 1, 2, 11, and 3. And I will send it back east to Staten Island. Ray, I know they're not running turf racing in New York. So this is the closest thing you get. What do you like in the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint?
Yeah, something green finally, because all we're seeing is in the
White.
dirt, white in the dirt, mud. Yeah, this is gonna be a very don't blink, because this is a fast one. 5 furlongs. Speed's gonna. I think Speed will do well. Those are my picks here. Number 11, I like number 11, Power Alert. You mentioned Power Alert. Leparoux struggling to meet, but this horse is pretty. He has enough speed to stay close, and hopefully, if he gets a good trip, he likes the course. 4-4. Came off Tampa first stage off the layoff. He ran pretty well. Actually, he won by 3 in a good time, and he's Brian Lynch is gonna have him cranked up for this race, and it's just the speed. He stay close to the outside. On the inside, I like your horse also, number 2, Manhattan Dan. He's forget about, but in the form you see E8. I mean, you could probably put E10 on that. He's really fast. The layoff doesn't concern me because I think, like you said, going 5 furlongs, he's not a lot of distance, and he's got the speed, and he's been working out very well. A minute flat, 48.3, and he's Pletcher usually will have them cranked up for the big days. So he'll be in front, probably catch. Paolo be second, and Mongolian side I give a little consideration to. He does have back class. Hasn't raced since the Breeders' Cup, which he didn't do too well. He did run a few other. He's good on the distance, and but you have to go back. So I don't know, 7-2, maybe depending on his back class, they're betting on that. But I put him for 3rd. Also, a few considerations. I have 5 is Divine Warrior. He's got Tyler Gaffoni rides him, and he's stepping up in class here. But he's a kind of a mid closer. I mean, he did come back from. If you see the 3, he was 3rd and he was 11th, but 11 by 3. So you somewhere close. So there must have been a lot of horses there. So he could come off the pace. If the meltdown is 15-1, he's probably a good horse that steps up to this condition, and he's worth a price. And also number 6, El Deal. Zayas is a home jockey. He knows the course pretty well. This horse too, stepping up a little bit. He did race the grade 3. He's got some speed also. He should stay close. He's 20-1. I like the price on him. That's why I would include him in my ticket. These horses sometimes they would run well. He's a local horse. He did run January 1st, so he's coming off a month freshening. in maybe 3 weeks. And a lot of horses. These horses are coming off big layoffs, so he might be in contention at 21. You never know. So I would put 11, 2, 10 on the top line, and with the 5, 6 on the my bottom line. For us. But I'm looking to include all five in my ticket. All right, Rich. Take it away from Vegas.
Yeah, from the beautiful Circus Casino here in Las Vegas. So you guys already saw it, so you get a little peek into Rich's handicapping. So I went with the very unknown combination here of Todd Pletcher and Javier Castellano, going kind of off the board there. Joe alluded to the fact that this horse is extremely quick. He is rocket heat kind of quick here back in his days before he went on the layoff. And I'm imagining that Todd Pletcher wouldn't bring the horse back in a stakes race, in as contentious race as this is, if he didn't have him ready. And you see my highlights down here in the workouts, which indicate to me that Pletcher's got him ready, that Javier will have him ready, that the inside post at Gulfstream there is not a bad spot for him to be, especially since he's the fastest horse in the race. I fully expect him to be on or very near the lead when they turn for home. Come and get him, see if you can run him down. So I am sticking with not the chalk, but a very well-known combination here, Todd Pletcher, Javier Castellano. Again, if you need anything more, 2 for 2 at Gulfstream, 3 for 3 at this distance, 3 for 7 on the turf. And back to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf that hit it a bomb, who I now see his commercials on TVG because he's at stud. If you look at that race was ferociously fast, and that was Manhattan Dan who was setting the pace all the way around. So my backup pick would be, if I'm going for a horse who's 2 for 2 at Gulfstream and 3 for 3 at this distance, then why not a horse who's 4 for 4 at Gulfstream and 7 for 16 at this distance? And that would be Power Alert. With Julian Leperoux, who, from what I understand, whose wife will be singing the national anthem tomorrow. Brian Lynch, a solid trainer. They're solid together, 20% they hit together. And in his last 5 races, the only one that he didn't finish first or second in is the race that you see here. The race car caught it with stumbled badly leaving the gate. So the race was over before it started for him there. So I do like Power Alert, or I did like Manhattan Dan as my top pick. I did have 2-11 as my top 2 picks. I was trying to find a way. I really was, folks. I wanted to throw out the chalk. I've just been eating too much of it this year already. It's only a few weeks into January, and stomach's starting to give me problems. And in this case, I really wanted to, look at that last race for Mongolian Saturday and say, aha, don't do it, and things like that. But you see my little comment there, which is the Hill. This is a horse who, he was very solid before they sent him overseas. I've got an affinity for Shatin race horse over there. But this was a guy who was solid over here in the United States before they sent him overseas. And he just did not enjoy his time in the Far East. He liked his summer in Europe even less. And came back home. When he got back home in the Woodford, in a very nice race, a 12-horse field, he tracked, he cleared, he held. He did everything nicely in a 5.5 furlong turf race. He did not like the hill at Santa Anita, and that's not, Joe will back me up on this, that's not the first time we hear that of a quality horse just sat there and said, what is this? Are we going uphill? Are we going downhill? Are we turning right? Are we turning left? Is this dirt? Is this grass? What are we doing? The hill can throw even Santa Anita horses for a loop, and I wouldn't be surprised if it threw even a veteran of Keeneland and Arlington and all those places. So again, a friend of mine told me about forgiveness this year, so I'll draw a line through the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint race, and I'll just go right back to his Woodford race and say that's the horse we're going to see today. And so I went 2, 11, and I put the 10 underneath. The 2 and 11 are on my top line, the 10 underneath, but I'm including all 3 on my pick 4. Joe has got the 1 and the 2 on his top line, and I believe he's got the 11 and the 3 underneath. Is that correct, Joe?
Yes.
And Ray has the 11, the 2, and the 10 on his top line, and he has the 5 and the 6 underneath. All right, and I am coming back, and I am sorry about the little guffaw there at the very beginning, folks. I forgot to pull out a piece of paper and make sure I write down our selections, which is always part of the process here for 3 Broke Guys. It's kind of a critical part of the process, to be honest with you. So welcome back. I would give you a view of my room here from Circus, and not to criticize people. I'm up on the 21st floor. I've got a beautiful view, but the window looks terrible. So it looks like it hasn't been cleaned in quite a while, and I would not show that to you if you paid me money, and nobody is paying us money. So on to race number 10. A mile and a half on the turf. This is the La Prevoyante handicap. Excuse me, the La Prevoyante handicap. Grade 3, purse is $200,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite is in post number 12. Suffused, trained by Bill Mott and ridden by Jose Ortiz, comes in as your 3-1 morning line favorite. All right, Ray, the favorite is marooned out in post number 12. Would you like to try your luck in the La Prevoyante?
Yeah, try my luck. There are 12 horses. I tell you, for the start, I'm 7 deep, so. Oh my God, I tell you, this is gonna be a mess. Yeah, try your luck. That's actually my top horse. I like him. He's 10-1. Michael Maker. He had it looks like a prep into Gulfstream in December 31. He ran third, and Florent Drew. I like him on the turf. He hits a 25%. Michael Maker. He's trading also the same, about 20%. And he had some great threes. He ran a Tropical Park Oaks, and she almost they got there. What I liked is the Kentucky Downs race, so she just blew out the field by 7 on a mile and 3/8. No, actually mile 5 and 16. Yeah, 5 So I like this horse, 10-1. I like the price. She'll be on my ticket. I like the 4. Desire Clary, Christopher Clement with Javier Castellano, 9-2, morning line. She's gone long before in the Long Island and raced pretty good. That race, I gotta tell you, if you see after 3/4 of 119, they fly home in 21 seconds. If that's correct, I mean, that's like amazing, from the mile and a quarter to the mile and a half. So they were really smoking at the end. And this horse was in there. She finished third by a half, so I give her a big part for that race. I'm sorry. And also she ran in the Monmouth, not too well, but she had a prep race July 31, so she ran second. I also like number 6, Promotional, Lascano and Thomas Proctor. This horse is also part of that Long Island race, and kind of faded, but actually finished 5th. Only lost by 3/4 of a length. So this horse looks like he could go long. She's stepping up from claiming, running gate 3. This is a grade 3, so you can to have our own 3BG angle for this horse, 10-1. I also like numbers. That's probably be my top line after the 12. So Suffuse would be my top line also. Favorite Jose Ortiz, and Billy Mott's gonna have him ready. This horse actually dropped in class from the EP Taylor off a little layoff the weigher. Been first and second in the last 3 races, going along. So this horse, the post shouldn't be too much of a factor. They're going a while, so I'll include that horses. That's my top line, 3, 4, 6, 12. I like to also mention number 7, Aries, with Motion and Rosario at 7-2, and 9, Flip Cup, and 10, Wappy. So those are my horses there. So Wappy for Julian with Blue, coming from out of town, and ran in Tampa with Thomas Proctor. So that's my list: 3, 4, 6, 12, and then 7, 9, 10. Joe, take it away. This is a wild race.
I got a better idea, Ray. Next time, just talk about the horses you don't like.
Okay.
we only have an hour. Okay.
Well, that's my strategy, because at the end I'm singing to somebody. I am. So
anyway, I don't have to. I don't have to mention. This conversation. I won't have to speak long. I was trying to beat the favorite because I really hate the draw. But if you look at Suffused, she's about a half a length from being 4 for her last 4. I don't think you can knock anything she's done. I watched the race in the EP Taylor, and she got. I mean, that was a dirty nose if there was such a thing. And Ortiz sticks along for the ride. I think post 12 is a negative again, just like with Rainbow Air in the last race. Not a huge negative. I think the horse is going to go favorite, but I also have to like the 7 horse in here. And I heard Trevor Denman pronounce the horse's name as Arl at Del Mar. Another horse who seems to get beat, really dirty, really short head, short noses. And one difference is if you look back at the race that she got beat by Suffused at Saratoga. There's a 6-pound weight shift today. Suffused is actually going to carry 6 more pounds than Arl, and Arl actually drew a better post today. So I think you have to include both of those two on your ticket. As far as figures go, if you're a figure handicapper, those two stand well above the rest. I like Desiree Clary a little bit as well. I watched the race that they came out of, and those 4 horses, Page, Promotional, Desiree Clary, and Flip Cup, were all very close at the wire. And generally in a turf race, if there are a lot of horses that finish really close, it was either a really good race or a really bad race. I think tomorrow we'll find out. I don't want to say it was a bad race, but I just think the other 2 horses are better than the horses that ran in the Via Borghese. And I want to give a nod to the 2 Gypsy Eyes, only on the speed angle alone. The horse is probably going to sit outside Quiet Kitten. I think last time she was the target. I'm assuming that since Luis Saez gets up and he's having a fantastic meet, 46 for 194, 24%, where he's normally 15% over the past calendar year. I got to give, nothing against Lane Lovesey, but I'm thinking maybe Luis Saez is going to try and rate this horse off Quiet Kitten a little bit. And instead of being the target, maybe chasing the target and running the horse down. The horse has enough breeding to get 1.5 miles. You see Sadler's Wells and High Chaparral and Dane Hill. The 1.5 mile distance is not the problem for this horse. I think I just think she's looking for the right trip, and there really isn't a lot of speed in this race. So I think the 2 has a shot to win. It's a puncher's chance. She wouldn't be on my top line. She'd be on my second. She'd be a B pick for me. So basically for me, it's 12, 7, 4, and 2 in that order, but the 12 and the 7 have to be on the top line for me on my personal ticket. My personal ticket, I would probably use all 4, but for the show, it would be the 12 and the 7 in that order. Now I'll hand it off to our Vegas contact, Mr. Sharp. Any sharp money on this race?
I'm fearful I'm going to end up hating myself with this one here and all like that. So as you saw here, you saw my little comment that popped up here. Me and Ray actually end up on the same horse. This really does not happen very often on this show. But here we are. I am on Try Your Luck. Mike Maker, Florent Giroux. They hit 21% together, and Florent Giroux, you've heard this on the show before. He's one of my favorite jockeys out there. So Maker is 23% second off the layoff. The horse had won 2 in a row, and then just missed by a length there in that Turf Park Oaks, rated inside, 5 wide, solid bid in the 13-horse race. So, again, looking for a price to try and see if I could knock off the favorite. I've got the 3. My second choice, I believe, in this one is, and Joe, I'm not sure if we were just mispronouncing this incorrectly or not, but I thought this was the same sign as me. I thought this was Aries.
No, I think that's an L in the middle, and like I said,
yeah.
I watched the race. I watched the race. I watched the red carpet, and Trevor Denman called the horse's name as Arl.
Oh.
No S, just Arl.
Arl.
ARL, something
Silent.
sounding like ARL.
So thank God I've got you, Alonda, to correct me on that one, because I would have been going off about Aries.
Come on, Aries, people look at you.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Again, Trevor's been doing this for quite a while, so I think I'd lean on him in this case.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So the horse, if you look there, came over from Europe, a solid turf horse who, when it came over from Europe, was actually really in a good form. Came over from Germany and came here on Saratoga, 1.25 miles. And as you see there, had all kinds of trouble in that first horse and just misses by 3/4 of a length against Suffused. Came back, coughs it up as the chalk there, but just second by a nose. Nuevo Record is not a shabby horse at all. Definitely worth another shot there. And that was in the red carpet handicap in Del Mar. So I went with the 3 and the 7 on top. I was trying to get by the favorite in this horse in this race, and then thought about it. I've got a big mirror right here in front of where I'm broadcasting from tonight, so I can look right in that mirror. And in the end, probably about 45 minutes before, I said, you know what, I don't think I can do that. Joe alluded to the fact this horse is about a length from 4 in a row. And so I'm not going to be able to toss the favorite in this race either. So I went the 3 and the 7 on top. I do have at least one long shot in there. Try Your Luck. But I'm going to put the 12 underneath. I got to play the 12. So I've got the 3, the 7, and the 12. Ray has The
Everybody.
okay, on the top
Well,
line,
thanks, so you gave me another horse too. So
you gave one
now
more.
I'm 18.
I gave you one more. Wow.
You gave me another horse too. Yeah, I'm gonna
So-
play him.
On the top line, Ray's got the 3, the 4, the 6, and the 12, and underneath he's got the 7, the 9, the 10. And Joe has on his top line the 12 and the 7, and then underneath I believe he has the 4 and the 2.
Correct.
All right, so I'm correct.
Doing that beef quick, I'll tell you my strategy. It was crazy, man.
Just hit the all button, dude.
Huh?
Don't waste your time. Just hit the all button. That's all I
Well,
can
not
do.
every race you go broke.
No, I mean in this one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, most likely, because I didn't put much into this race. It's just too crazy.
All right. I am going back now, and we are up 4, and this is going to be race number 11. This one is 1.5 miles. It is also on the turf. It is the W.L. McKnight Handicap, a Grade 3. The purse is $200,000 for 4-year-olds and upward. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite at 4-1 is in post number 7. Twilight Eclipse, trained by Thomas Albertrani and ridden by Jose Ortiz. Joe, first you got a 5-furlong turf sprint. Now you got a 10-furlong marathon. That's why you hit leadoff. Who do you like in the W.L. McKnight Handicap?
I also hit third, which means I must be pretty good.
There you go.
Actually, and I don't mean to correct you, Rich. It's 12 furlongs, but
12 furlong.
actually, I'm going class angle tonight, and I'm not going with the favorite. He's on my ticket, but I'm going with my top choice is the 4, Danish Dynaformer. He's been facing Grade 1 runners all year, a lot of the year last year. So he should enjoy the fact that you're not going to see that many of those in this race. The horse won the Grade 3 Singspiel off the bench, and he was wide on all three turns in the Red Smith. I had a chance to go back and watch that race. So he covered a lot more ground than anybody else inside. It might look like he hung, but I don't necessarily believe that. Plus, he's had enough time off to recover. He's been working on the turf, solid turf drills at Payson Park. He's won twice at 12 furlongs. The only thing, big closers deep closers in big fields always have to work out trips. I'm hoping the horse is not wide for all 3 turns again, because then the horse probably would hang. But the fact that they drew the 4-hole, I'm going to assume he worked out a little bit better of a trip. So I'm with the 4 Danish Dynaformer, who I believe is 5-1 on the morning line. I also like the other class horse in this race, and he's the favorite, Twilight Eclipse. He's actually, if you look at his PPs, he's 2 for 17 at 12 furlongs. And ironically, I went back and looked at the history of the W.L. McKnight and Twilight Eclipse. Well, those 2 wins at 12 furlongs were both in this race. Not last year's event, but he won the race 2 years ago and 3 years ago. So if there's any one spot that he's going to like 12 furlongs, this is the spot. He's been freshened since the Breeders' Cup. If you look at the company line, Highland Reel, Flincher, Money Multiplier, those are Grade 1 horses. He's not seeing Grade 1 horses in this spot. He's won a Grade 1 at 11 furlongs. He won the Man of War back in 2015, May of 2015, but that was his last stakes win. But he also does have more tactical speed than the others. So I think he can sit a nice trip. And the other horse I like a little bit is Charming Kitten. And again, I'm going back to the class angle. Charming Kitten won this race last year. So we have the last 3 winners of the McKnight in this spot. He's got tactical speed also. And this is a combination you don't really see very much. Mike Maker and Mike Smith. That'd be pretty interesting. I don't know that they've ever teamed up before, but it'll be nice. I'm sure Mike Maker is probably thrilled to have Mike Smith up. And I'm sure Ray would have mentioned it, but since I got to go first, I'll say it. Beware of the Ramseys. And this horse is 4 for 8 lifetime at Gulfstream Park. Again, coming back from a little bit of a layoff, coming back from Europe. We've seen horses do that before. And Mike Maker won 2 turf stakes at the fairgrounds last week after I tweeted about how his turf stake percentage was a lot lower than his normal winning percentage. So thank you, Mike, for proving me wrong. So I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and have you underneath on my ticket. So I'm going 4, 7, and 6 in my second line. They would all be on my ticket, all 3 of them, 4, 7, and 6 in that order in the McKnight. And now, I will send it out east. It's a long pass from here to Staten Island. So, Ray, I hope you're open.
It's much more than a mile and a half.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good race. Grade three. My top choice would be actually. I mean, I don't really have a top choice. I like just three horses in general. Um, and I'm gonna start with the 11th, Saddler's Joy. I think this horse has a lot of upside. It's just one of those hunches. You know what I'm saying? He's been running and claiming. He's a grade three, so he fits our angle.
Saying.
And Julian LePeroux, and he's 8-1. I think he'll get the distance. And this type of race, he could upset. I do like number seven, Twilight Eclipse. He's classy. His horse goes back a long way. Um, like you said, he won the Big Night twice, and he's 4-1 is not a bad price. So you don't really have a heavy favorite here. So he's a live horse. Coming off the layoff, he did win. So he's not facing this type of competition. And I also like the other Ramsey horse, Jetter's Kitten, number eight, 15-1. Also with Mike Maker. I guess if it was in New York, there'll be an entry, but they're separate entries. I choose the larger of the one, and I think this horse probably definitely he would make this a deep closer. But if the race collapses, he might get a good trip with Drew. Um, those would be my three horses: Saddler's Joy, 11, and Twilight Eclipse, 7 and 8. Jetter's Kitten. All right, Rich, pass on to you.
This is a tough race. I actually ended up going four deep here on my own personal ticket, and I settled on the top choice for me. My top selection here, surprisingly enough, is a Chad Brown horse. Imagine that. Chad Brown, Javier Castellano, they hit 28% together, and you see Chad Brown there is 25% on his shippers. The horse has been solid and has been running very well here for quite a while. Just finished fourth there in the Knickerbocker, 3 3/4 lengths out of it. Again, Heart to Heart was a gate to wire winner that day, so nobody was going to catch him from the backside there. Prior to that, going 1.25 miles, kind of closed in nicely and like that. So I'm looking for a little bit of a price. If I'm not mistaken, this is you don't often see any kind of a price on a Chad Brown horse, but you might get something around the 5-1 mark, possibly with Mr. Maybe. I think he's 10-1 on the morning line. I don't think you'll see anything close to that just because Chad Brown. Joe kind of picked up on Twilight Eclipse, very classy. I can't really add to anything he said other than, again, look at his running line. And if you look at where he's finishing in his running line, minus any of those monsters, he should be able to handle this group pretty easily. I also liked his top pick. I also liked your top pick, Joe, which was Danish Dynaformer. So I had all three of those as my top three. So I had the 4, the 7, and my top choice being the 10. And the one that I threw in, just because, again, I hate to get burned by my own sayings, was Charming Kitten. If you look at Charming Kitten back before he left to go overseas last year, at Gulfstream Park last year in December, he was in this William McKnight. He was the winner. And if you look at the horses that ran behind him that day, that's Kagan and the Big Hoss. Those are two of the big long distance runners in this country here. And so, when he was on his game, Charming Kitten in this country was as good as anybody at 1.5 miles. So I would probably use all 4 of those if I could on my pick 4 ticket. But for this purposes, my top pick was the 10, and I backed it up with the 7. And I would probably then go ahead and use also the 4 on the top line as well, with the 6 underneath. I believe that Joe went with the 4, the 7, and the 6. We all went kind of deep on this one. And Ray went with the 11, the 7, and the 8. This is going to be one of those fun races on the pick 4 ticket. All right, coming back to you guys one last time. Ta-da. On to the finale. The very last time I ever get to call California Chrome's name in a pre-race lineup. It is race number 12. It is 1 1/8 miles, the Pegasus World Cup Invitational Stakes, Grade 1. The purse is $12 million for 4-year-olds and upwards. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 12. He has taken me, and indeed most of the racing fans in America, on an incredible journey. California Chrome, trained by Art Sherman and ridden by Victor Espinoza. He is 6-5 on the morning line. Ray, this is it. The last run of California Chrome. He's the richest American horse, goes for the richest race. What do you say?
Wow, this is gonna be a good one. I like California Chrome a lot until the post. post 12 kind of bothers me in this type of race where every inch matters. Because I mean, I have a few stats here that Gulfstream, since the Mile and 8 opened up, 1 of 18 have won, and it was Big Brown who won the Florida Derby. And I believe the last 4 posts, probably like 11 for like 200 for 10 years, something like that. But he's gonna have it hard. I mean, if he wins, well deserving. I mean, I like him. He'll be on my ticket. But I think Arrogant has a little tactical advantage here. From the rail, if he breaks well. If he breaks well, he can control the pace. If Chrome can get out on the outside, the difference here is that he's on the outside and Arrogant's on the inside this time. The Mile and 8 actually would favor California Chrome, so I'm toss here, back and forth. Probably want to play both of them, but I think Arrogant on the inside has an advantage. The time she beat Chrome, and Chrome is kind of vulnerable at mile and a quarter, so he'd be a little stronger for mile and 8. So, but if I had to really make a choice, if I had to like say one horse and single one horse, I would probably go with Arrogant. He's younger. He's been working out tremendously. He's got the inside. He's got Mike Smith, big money Mike. And Chrome has done well, but I really think the post is going to hurt him this time. Any other horses here? I like Shaman Ghost to pick up the pieces, Key Nice for a trifecta, whatever. But Joe, it's on to you.
Well, yeah, California Chrome has really taken us all on a journey. And there is something to be said for the fact that they're emptying the tank. If he's not 100% and he's not ready for this spot, there's got to be a problem. This is going to be his farewell.
Yeah.
It'd be sad to see him go because he's done so much for the game and he's done so much for us, and we've gotten so much enjoyment out of watching him. The post doesn't bother me as much because a lot like Big Brown, he's fast from the gate. So I really don't think it's that much of a hindrance. I just have this gut feeling. It's not really a gut feeling. Rich, where's that? Oh, you didn't happen to bring that bobblehead with you, did you?
No, I couldn't bring it with me.
To be honest, Bob Baffert last sent a horse to Gulfstream. I saw it on Twitter, and I can't remember how long ago it was. It was at least a decade ago. He's not sending Arrogate if this horse is not in top shape and he's not in perfect condition. I bet Arrogate the one day he lost. I would, for me personally, I'm singling Arrogate tomorrow. Hopefully it's not the second day he loses. But I mean, if he's going to lose, he's going to lose to California Chrome, and it's a 2-horse race. There's if anybody other than one of those 2 horses win, it's because either they ran into each other and knocked each other down and neither one of them finished the race, or something unforeseen happens and there's just no way. A mile and an eighth, they could run this race at 5 furlongs and the race would still be the same. I don't think it would make very much difference. They're just better than everybody else. And like you said, Ray, I'll mention one other thing. Arrogate is just turning 4, and Bob Baffert is saying he's getting better. If he's getting better, that is a scary thought for everybody else in the gate in this spot. Again, I love California Chrome. I hope I mean, sentimentally, I kind of hope he wins because I know Arrogate's going to run more races and win more races down the road. But if Arrogate's getting better, we're talking I don't want to say Secretariat material, but spectacular bid, affirmed. I mean, we're talking an all-time great if he's getting better.
Yeah.
So for me, it would just be an Arrogate single here, and I will pass it on to Rich. And I know Rich will have his own opinion on this. So, Rich, take it away.
Oh yeah, well, and there wasn't much handicapping for me to do here. I would have loved to be able to narrow it down to a single. I've got to use 2 horses. I got to use the 1 and the 12. So and to take it out of play for myself and like that. So California Chrome, I don't think he's going to have any problems with the 12 post. He's never had problems with that kind of position before, so I see him being able to move over fairly easily. The one thing I was going to say, because this is the last time I ever get to handicap California Chrome, it's the last time I ever get to talk about him. So I saw him a few years ago. I can't believe it was 2013 already that we saw him for the first time. And he did. He really took me on an incredible journey. And I think more than any other horse ever in my lifetime, he's meant more to me as far as the sport of horse racing. So he kind of brought me down, or he kind of brought me here, and he kind of brought me back to the sport of horse racing. And he really made me enthusiastic, and he really made me believe in the sport again. And to be honest with you guys, I don't even think there's a show called Three Broke Guys Handicapping that goes on every single week if there wasn't a horse that was called California Chrome, because that's how enthusiastic he made me for horse racing. So again, I'll just go 112 in that last race. I think I heard Ray going 112. I think I heard Joe going 1 on top with the 12 underneath. And so there we go. And I will go ahead and get started on our template and get building our pick 4. Come on back to you guys. You see there my message for California Chrome. So bye-bye, Chrome.
Yeah, he's been a good one. He's,
Yeah.
From where he came from and where he became, that was an amazing story. His breeding was, mediocre. He did a lot for the world,
Well,
now that I see, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I'm sad that he lost to Belmont. That would have been really the ultimate. Ultimate. You know what I'm saying? That's one race that slipped away. But,
Ray, you know what really makes me sad?
Yeah.
And Rich and I were there for this. We saw Shared Belief run by California Chrome, and we even said it I know I said it, like he was standing still. He ran by, and we never got to see that again.
Yeah.
And we don't. Who knows what California Chrome would be if Shared Belief were still around and healthy, and I can imagine that would have been a rivalry for the ages. That would have been awesome to see. So that's what really makes me sad, is that there wasn't that kind of rivalry or rival for California Chrome. And unfortunately, it seems as if now there is one, but unfortunately California Chrome is 6 and he's going away. So we can't. So, and one of the great things about sports in general is rivalries. We remember Ali Frazier. We know the Yankees and the Red Sox. We know the Patriots and the rest of the NFL. And it's just. I mean, it's funny you think about what's happening tomorrow. I guess it's Sunday morning here. Is Federer and Nadal in the Australian Open final for anybody who's watching tennis. I mean, the rivalries make sports, and it's sad that we didn't really have a big one for California Chrome. We had Shared Belief that one time, and then of course now Arrogate. But it's kind of sad that how great the sport could have been had those two horses been going at each other, sort of like Arrogate and California Chrome have went at each other in the Breeders' Cup, and now again tomorrow, but for the last time.
And don't forget American Farrell too. I mean,
sure, yeah, no, I mean, can you imagine? I just put those 4 in the gate right now and say, okay, let's see, American Farrell and Shared Belief and California Chrome and Arrogate, and say, okay, may the best horse win. That for 12 million. For 12 million, that would be worth it.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, if he's healthy, I can't see why he can't keep racing. I mean,
because the breeding money is just too great at this point.
Yeah.
And if you could pay 16 million for the Green Monkey, what would a California? I mean, they're just talking. I mean, yesterday Christina Blacker just tweeted about California Chrome's little brother being born. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, what would you pay for that? Considering you paid 16 million for the Green Monkey, what, 30 million? I don't know.
Do you think the fact that 2 years ago he only raced twice and he had problems, and they just worried him? He had a big year last year, so
thank you, dumbass partners.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not go there. This is a family show.
Yeah, I have a picture of the guy, one of the guys. So.
So does Rich. I think Rich has with both of them. If I'm not.
No, I have with the original one. I have with Steve. I do not have with Perry.
With Steve Coburn, right?
Yeah.
Well, like a tweet said, when you name yourself dumbass partners, don't be surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
When they act like.
All right.
And you can fill in the blank.
So up on the screen, I've got our potential pick four so far. And what I did was I tried to eliminate some of the individual selections where it's just one of us with only that. So where we have some consensus, and even there we still have a $48 ticket. So in the first race,
For a
so
race
let's-
like that.
yeah, in the first race, I've got the 1 and the 2 and the 10 and the 11, and it looks like this. That Joe's got the 1 and the 2 on his top line. I believe Ray, you've got the 2 and the 11 and the 10.
Right, yeah.
And I also had the 2 and the 11.
That works
that's-
out. Yeah.
That's how we got to those four.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be the gentleman here and say, okay. I mean, I know I'm the only one who mentioned the 1. If you guys want to play this ticket, fine. If you want to eliminate the 1, since neither one of you mentioned the horse,
Oh, I missed that.
that would be fine too. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, he's legit.
Okay. Second race here, we have the 3 and the 4. So the 3 was Ray and I's top selection.
Mhm.
The 4 is Ray and Joe. You've got that as your underneath selection.
Mhm.
The 7, Joe, you and I have that as our top selection, and the 12, Joe, you and Ray have that as your top selection, and I have that as my underneath selection.
Sounds good.
In race number 11, we have the 4, the 6, and the 7. And let's see, Joe, you and I both have the 4 on our top level. We also have the 6 on our. So you have the 6 on your top level, and I have it on my second level. And Joe, you've got the 7 on your top level, and Ray, you also have the 7 on your top level, and I also have the 7 on my top level.
Okay.
And in the finale, we've got the 1 and the 12.
Nothing more need to be said.
There was really nothing more to be said because.
I mean, that looks good to me. I don't have an objection.
Ray, you okay with that?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Let me just make sure I get it right.
And hopefully, I don't do what I did
2.
last week, which is that, as I found recently in recent weeks, I am doing much more handicapping again on Saturday morning. So my job was very stressful there for a while and was kind of taking me away from it. So just recently, these last couple of weeks, I've had some more time, and I'm spending more time handicapping again on Saturday mornings pre-race, doing the video replays. In other words, doing what all handicappers are supposed to be doing anyway. And it helped me last week. It helped me last week to find the winner in the initial race. It didn't help us to save our pick 4 ticket, unfortunately, because of Awesome Slew. But it was nice.
Yeah.
So this is a $48 ticket for Gulfstream Park, and it is 1, 2, 10, 11, with 3, 4, 7, 12, with 4, 6, 7, with 1, 12. You got that
All
one,
right.
Joe? All right.
I got it on.
I'm coming back to you guys one last time then. All righty. Well, you guys know it is always wonderful, actually, to handicap with the two of you, especially when I'm in Las Vegas, which is where I'm at. And tomorrow, I am going to get to watch the Pegasus World Cup, hopefully from Treasure Island, over where the National Handicapping Championship is going on. So,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going to take off over there, and hopefully, I'll send you guys some nice photos and get some shots. Maybe I'll even get a cameo selfie with somebody from one of our handicapping buddies.
This weekend is the Derby pool. They have a Derby pool.
It is. For those of you who are watching, Ray,
yeah.
thanks for bringing
Okay.
that up. So the Kentucky Derby
Derby
Futures
Pool.
Pool, it already
Yeah,
opened up. I've actually got another wager down on Gormley. I've got another wager down on Mastery now. And I'll see how my weekend goes. I might have to have Ray log. As a matter of fact, Ray, I'll be sending you my login credentials for TVG because
Yeah,
I'm in Las Vegas this weekend, so I cannot take advantage of TVG's promotion. So for those of you who are watching our show, TVG does have their win back promotion. So on the 7 stakes races that are going on at Gulfstream Park tomorrow for the Pegasus World Cup, all 7 of the stakes races, you can go ahead and bet your win wager up to $15. And if your horse finishes 2nd or 3rd, you get your money back. So that's a pretty good promotion. And because I'm in Las Vegas where I am blocked from using TVG, my good buddy Ray there is going to be my proxy bettor for me.
No problem. We'll take care of it.
Again, if you have some time to get out there and check out the Kentucky Derby Futures Pool, I believe Gormley was 20-1. I think Mastery was 15-1. And for those of you who like to eat the chalk, I think Classic Empire was down to 6-1.
6-1. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. For those of you watching, if you enjoyed the show, we will be back next week because that's what the 3 broke guys do. we will get together, take a look at another exciting card, and we are going to be headed back to Santa Anita Racetrack. I did not discuss this with Joe and Ray, but I'm pretty sure they're going to back me up on the fact because we've got the San Antonio handicap, we've got the Robert B. Lewis handicap. I think we've got 4 big stakes races next week in Santa Anita, so I'm hoping there won't be any gripe on that one.
Sounds good.
It's up to the weather gods now.
Yeah.
It's so much rain out here. It's ridiculous. So hopefully, at least this weekend looks like it should be dry, and it looks like for the next foreseeable future anyway.
Knock on my marble desk. All right, gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you.
Always.
Likewise.
Enjoy Vegas.
Thanks, guys. For Joe English and Ray Torado, I am Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching Three Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.
The bon temps relay.
Good night.